Good afternoon, everyone. Jacob Israel is here one more time. And this show, holy macaroni! I say that when I get excited about things. You all saw the speech. We're not going to get into any divisiveness, and we're not going to get into any of that kooky stuff. But there is an underlying theme. There is a very big spiritual message that needs to be shared. Let's take a look at that thumbnail, and you tell me how all that sound is going. Welcome to today's live show. I would have done it a lot sooner had I known. I had another show planned. I did not expect this to be the one that I would be going with today, but here we are. I love when stuff like this comes together because, my goodness gracious, it is really important. Is the sound any better right now? Can you hear me okay? Let me know. Sound is good. Thank you, you mad bro. I appreciate it. Great. We don't want things to sound too bad. We want it to sound just right. Because I got to tell you, this is going to be a concerning and wonderfully encouraging program. You'd have to be living under a rock, or maybe you just haven't checked your news feed, your Twitter feed, or whatever else. You know that the address from last night is being, well, we don't want to say criticized by a lot of people, but yes. You know, the whole look and the whole feel of this speech was something that is in question right now. But it's the joke, it's the innuendo, and it's all the other ancillary stuff that, you know, once again, the Lord brought to me, I guess, inspired me. One of you wonderful people out there at Jacob me on this. And it's making its rounds. It's almost going a little viral there on Twitter. That has to do with Kali. You'll see up there in the thumbnail, that's a very, very prominent figure in the political landscape who's been attached to a lot of very, very interesting things. And I'm not saying I agree, because I certainly don't. But a lot of people take what this guy tweeted out as, something that was actually said. Kali Ma, which was actually something that was said in the movie Indiana Jones. Now, why is this all important? We're going to get there. There was an ominous feel. Let's start off at the beginning. Let's take a look. If you didn't see it, let's take a look at let's just scroll when he came up. And you can just take a look at just the whole environment, the whole set. It just had a negative feel to it. And the message, of course, seemed very, very divisive. But unlike what Jack said, that's his name, there was no mention of Kali Ma, which was in the movie Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, the bad guy. It was like a cult, the thuggy group. I don't know if it's been a while since I've seen even the movie. Bum Bum Shubayo, he rips out the heart. Bunch of sacrifice going on in that movie, of course. Big film. Won an Academy Awards. But where did this Kali Ma come from? And how is it now all over Twitter? And how is it filtering in? And why is it filtering in? Well, perhaps the battle of the soul. That's what Biden has, that's what the speech was called. And that's, of course, what his whole platform was. And I had said, because, of course, the soul, psyche, is the trident. We've talked about the trident quite a bit on the program. And you'll notice in the thumbnail, that's Kali, otherwise known as like the devil. It's kind of like the Hindu version of the devil. Comes on the scene at the very end. A short yuga. There are these periods of time called yugas. I've written about this years ago. Of course, when I started, I knew that there are a lot of people that don't believe the Bible, and there are not many people that are just Christian, and there are many people that are Jewish and Muslim and everything. So I had to find the common ground. So I started studying all of these different faiths. Turns out they're all right now sort of in that last moment, those end days, if you will. Stressful times. That's what the trident is all about, the trishula. And of course, we know that bird, the crane. Hey, you, crane. We know that the trident is kind of their logo as well. So this speech that was made last night, the Heritage Foundation president is blasting him, saying that it was filled with division. Now, ironically, I have notes from, that's the shin, by the way. It's a trident. And so it's in the word sin. Sin. Isn't that interesting? The trident. It's a judgment. It's a judgment. But I had this lying around, ironically, from when I was doing shows a while back. Shin's also it also has something to do with Shaddai. It has to do with God. It has to do with us being delivered from this captive world in this terrible time and brought into a new day, a new age, where there's a new heaven and a new earth. That's the end of the cycle. The end of Kali Yuga, the shortest of all these cycles, brings in a new day. Stay with me, because this is going to really freak you out. Freak me out. Of course, we know, I've talked about on the show many times, that word that starts with an an M and ends with an A. And we know that that's all over the news today. Because, of course, he's putting out a lot of stuff about them being, bad. Bad. And a lot of people voted for him. That's like something like 74 million Americans or something. So we're not talking a small section of the United States seems to be pro the Trumpster. I am definitely not pro either. Okay? I'm pro God. I'm pro unity. I'm pro the kingdom of heaven coming and making things right. I'm pro an end of this division and this terrible day that we're living in where people are so corrupt. It's hard to find anybody who's sincere today. I have no friends, basically. I mean, I have few, but very few people that I can talk to on a different level. And so the search continues. Hopefully all of you are doing the same, continuing to seek. And we know what that word means in Latin. And of course, a lot of people will say, no, it's just the words broken down. Make great again. But yeah, you don't see the periods when you're looking at all of these news articles. You don't see that. You just basically see the Latin word for witch, which is strange because recently I shared on my Twitter that the Salem witch trials are going on right now. And if that word means witch, and the Artemis mission, the goddess of the hunt, could the hunt be on for people that go by that slogan? I don't know. That's not what this show's about. It's not. It is strange that there's this exhibit going down, that it's actually taking place in the city. It's going on right now. But let's just put all that aside, because I think that, according to Scripture, witchcraft is a spirit of rebellion, and we're in the spirit of rebellion, right? We saw the eclipses. Let me come back to you so you can see me. The two eclipses that took place, Great American Eclipse, 2017. The next one's going to be 2024. About 7 years, I think it's like 6.6 years. This time of judgment, this cross section that I and maybe some others have been warning that we were going to see a very, very hard time. Now, if you're new to the channel, I'm talking about it, I'm not going to go back and I'm not going to prove myself to be true. You can go back and watch these videos. I've been telling people for a long time that this was coming, and here we are. here we are, where you have the the president of the free world, right, saying things that are just so inflammatory to so many people and divisive and causing a greater divide, which I've said was coming for a long time as well, because a divided house can't stand. All of this stuff's being put into place because something big is happening. Something big is coming. Perhaps it's the end of this thing called Kali Yuga, which is why I had Lisa Gordon, who always represents the buckle up. She represents the merch. I appreciate everybody who does that. This is how I started looking into this, because I got a tweet this morning where it was said that he repeated it again and again. Now, I went back, I watched the whole thing. He did not repeat it again and again, but that's what everybody's saying. They're saying that maybe he said it at the end where you couldn't hear because he picked up a mic, but he didn't. I don't read lips, but it was clear that he didn't say that. But there's a reason why you have someone who is Pozo, right? The witch American Pozo. Pozo, that word Pozo in Latin means dregs. It's like the sediment. It's like when you look at water, it's all that sediment that lays on the bottom. It's the dregs. It's not a great thing. Pozo, the word, not a great thing. The dregs of American witchcraft would be a way of taking his Twitter title out. But a lot of people love this guy. You know, he broke up something in Central Park where they were doing Caesar, and they replaced Caesar with President Trump. Very dark time we've been in for a long time. But you'll see underneath it, a lot of people are, they're sharing who Kali is. They're given the canned answer, the goddess of death, time, doomsday, all that. Really, it's a demon. It's what it is. It's like the devil. It's like Satan. And I got to tell you, Twitter is on fire with all this. People are creating all sorts of memes of the president. And I've seen worse, but I think that I can get away with showing this one from, I've seen a lot worse. And it goes on and on. I'm surprised as the day goes, more and more are retweeting this, and they're believing that he said that because that's what it is. People grab onto titles and they won't really research things and check it out. So why? Why did this guy right here, Jack, why did he tweet that out? And why is everybody going to town with it? You know what's weird? You know what's really weird? Is that I took it a little step further. And I looked into Pozo. I looked into Jack a little bit. And do you know in 2021, Steve Bannon, he shared one of Tim Pool's Timcast episodes. And if you read that, it says Tim discusses that word and strategy with Bannon and mentions Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga. What is that about? What is the last stage? The last yuga, the last cycle, the shortest of cycles? Why are they discussing it on the Tim Pool show? Why is Jack tweeting that out almost a year ago and today putting that out? Could it be, perhaps, that the people that are celebrated, could it be, perhaps, the people that you think are great and that they're for the United States and they're for freedom and everything else? Could it be that they're all part of the program and that this is all playing out in front of us? Do you know he was an intelligence officer? A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. He was a big time intelligence officer. His wife was born in Russia. She's American. It's just interesting, don't you think, that a special ops intel officer for the Navy leaves in about 2017 and then is thrust into the limelight. And now people are just quoting whatever he says. Hey, you tell me right now. I'm going to go over to the live chat and say hi to everybody. I appreciate you all being here. Got over 1,000 people. I'm surprised to see that. I appreciate it. Hey, guess what? We only got like 300 likes. And you know what that means? That means that I just forgot to remind you. And I appreciate you all just taking a second as I talk and Xing out and hitting that like so that more people can come over and watch this, because this is where it gets really weird. Thank you for doing so, because we need more people to wake up and not just listen. But the day that we're in, it could well be said, is the day where Kali Yuga is coming to an end. And when you hear about what Kali Yuga is, it's going to probably stress you out a little bit, because it stressed me out. Look at that. Already 100 of you have hit the like button. I love you all so much. I appreciate it. We get through this together. We need to get through this together, because who can we trust, right? That was my last video. Who can you trust? Who can you believe? Who's on our side? Who's here for us? On Twitter, again and again and again. Here we go. Kali Ma. Why would Biden be chanting Kali Ma in a speech? He didn't chant it. It was just put into your psyche, which is a trident. The psyche, psyche. Psych. Get it? Soul. It's the soul of man. The trident, the trishula, the fertilise. But people take it, they believe it, and they say, wow, this is a disturbing time to be alive. And why wouldn't they? Especially when you hear this. So, This is the guy that he gave a speech, and of course it was it looked a lot like, the background was very red and bright red, and it kind of, I guess, resembled the president's speech last night. And so this is probably why it's going around, where they're calling for Kali Ma. Kali Ma. It's like calling for the devil, just so you know. Just like calling for the devil. I don't care if it's 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days. What was it that the president said? Interesting. All of this is interesting. Is this a big show, right? Let me show you who Kali is, okay? This is Kali in Hinduism. It's the being who reigns in the age of Kali Yuga. Now, in the New Testament, this is the time when the devil would be released for about 1,000 years. Ironically, I saw a comment where someone was saying, hey, do you think it's possible? And I said, yes, of course. I've already said it's possible. And I think we're coming to the end of that 1,000 years. This is when God finally rests and everything is finished in victory. There's a great time that awaits us. I believe it's called the Sata Yuga, which is the one that follows. It's kind of the beginning again. We're in this loop, supposedly. So yeah, they're it's the deity who comes against Kalki, who is a picture of Christ. Very interesting. Now, what's more strange is the weapon that Kali uses, the trident, the trishula. I'm not making this stuff up, people. It's just odd that, a while ago I was talking about, hey, have you guys seen? There's a trident everywhere. I can't get away from the trident. Everywhere. Logan Paul had a trident. Even Sniper Wolf had a trident. Like, everybody had a trident. There was a trident. There was tridents on the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. There was tridents everywhere. Everywhere you looked. Couldn't get away from it. Perhaps because this is the end of that time. Maybe. I don't know. But I do find it odd that Bannon is talking about the Kali Yuga about a year ago or so, saying it's coming. It's already here. We've been in it for a long, long time. But I've made you aware of the trident before. This is not something that's different. Now, what was the name of the speech again? Do me a favor in the chat, if anybody remembers, what was the name of his speech? Got almost 700 likes. I appreciate that. Now we got about 1,400 people watching. Can we get more? I appreciate it. The name of the speech, of course, was Battle for the Soul of the Nation. You got it, The Void. The soul. And what are you looking at? You're looking at a picture from the Oscars. Right behind Chris Rock, you see, that's the title of the film that was supposed to win the award. He was giving out that award. Chris Rock, the Rock of Christ, was giving out the award for the Summer of Soul, the harvest. You see the trident in the background, the green horse of the apocalypse? We're in it. We're in it. And of course, the Prince of Bel Air, Baal, comes over, Lord of the Flies, boom, smacks him in the face, smacks him down. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. And it all has to do with baldness, hair. And I've explained, of course, what this all means. Very interesting stuff, people. This is very interesting because the battle has been going on. We are in the midst of this, and the harvest is upon us. I don't know what that means exactly. Spiritually speaking, I think it's a wonderful thing. I think for those that are not worried, because they have their faith in more, they have their faith in the living God, and not the God of the dead, the God of the living. That's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the mighty one of Jacob, the one that I'm always talking about, the God of Jesus Christ, the Father. Those that have faith there, though they walk through the valley of the shadow of death, they fear nothing. For God is with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. He makes us to lay down in green pastures. He prepares a table in front of our enemies. People are going to come against us. Guess what's going to happen? The Lord is going to bless us and lay out a spread and show the world, hey, you mocked him. You put him down. You called him a goofball. You tried to hurt him. But look at him now. Look at her now. All they've been through, all they've endured, all they've suffered, but we hung on in the darkest time for the battle of the soul. He's not worried about your soul because he left the name of God out of his prayer at the National Day of Prayer. That's a fact. First time in history. National Prayer Day, and you don't mention God? Guess what happens when that happens? You're at the end. You're in the dregs. You're in the throes of Kali Yuga. You're in the throes of the book of Revelation in the end. That final battle where Satan is cast into the earth. All of this stuff is happening right now, and it's about to pop off. In my opinion, could be wrong. I don't know. I'm hoping it doesn't pop off, but it seems like they're doing everything in their power to make it pop off. Don't fall for it. We need to love each other. We need to come together. You can't lump a bunch of people in that supported him and say that they're a threat. They're not a threat. I know wonderful people that love him. And I say, hey, maybe you shouldn't put your faith in the system. Maybe you should go to church or put your faith in a little bit more. I'm not recommending go to church, people. I shouldn't have said that because we are the church. Because, I wouldn't even know where to tell you. So few places I could say, yeah, they're sincere, go there. When people tell me I got baptized today, I think it's wonderful. Except for I don't know where they got baptized. And I don't know what they're going to be told. Because I've been on this channel for a long time, and I've seen a lot of people that said, I didn't even believe anything. You led me to the Lord, they'll say. And then they go to their church. And then they get baptized. And then they get indoctrinated. And what does the scripture say? Makes you twice more the son of hell, son of perdition. And then they're like, I can't listen to you anymore. You're wrong. This happens. This happens. The truth is not appreciated in the end days. A threat to the very soul of this country. It's a sad, sad time. All right, so let me just before I really get into the deep stuff, let's just talk about Kali Yuga. And I want you all to think about, like, why is that on Twitter right now? That's an odd thing, right? Maybe something an intelligence officer would know about. Maybe something someone like Bannon would know about. Do you find it strange? I do find it strange. But you know what? I'm glad that it happened because, see, I believe that all things work together for the good. So instead of approaching at it from a maybe it is. Maybe all this is a psyop. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But all things work together for the good. So if it's bad, if it's good, it's working together for the good of those that love God. God is love. Those that love to love. Those that are compassionate. In the end, it's all working together. Even the most horrific stuff. I know it sounds hard to believe, but you have to believe it because you can't have growth without resistance. You can't get strong. You can't get big muscles if you don't have an adversary at the gym. So there's an adversary at life. There's friction. There's, as a buddy of mine says, pressure. Where's growth without the pressure? Okay. So the Kali Yuga is an age of darkness. And of course, we know that darkness is symbolic of ignorance. And it's the last of these 4 yugas, basically 4 periods of time. To understand what Kali Yuga is, we discuss its duration, the difference when Vishnu avatars that appear. That's basically like Christ appearing, okay? God appearing in the Messiah, if you will. And other important symptoms of the age. It's a time of despair among humanity across the entire earth when chaos, confusion, and hypocrisy reigns. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Sounds familiar to me. Sounds like the day we're in. These are the 4 ages, the Sada Yuga, the Treta Yuga, okay? So these are all them. And the one that we're going into is a good one. And there's a 1,000 yuga cycle is equal to a day of Brahma. That's in the scriptures. A day to the Lord is like 1,000 years. You see, I had a dream once. I actually put it in my novel. I should have pulled it up because it would have cool. Thomas, the lead character, has a dream. But I had a dream once. And I was told in the dream to link the waters. I had these like floating waters, and for whatever, they come together and they made this beautiful rainbow and this explosion of light in the dream. I put it in my novel. Thomas has this dream. But in the dream, I was told to link the waters. And when I woke up, what I understood it meant was that I have to be able to talk to a Hindu. I have to be able to talk to a Muslim. I have to be able to talk to a Jew. I have to be able to talk to a Jehovah's Witness. I have to be able to talk to a Mormon. I got to be able to talk to everybody. I got to find a common theme, a common thread. So I've looked into all of these faiths. And there's a lot of, because see, there is only one God. So I want you to wrap your heads around this. There's only one God. Do you not think that the spirit of the story would be hidden within? Do you think that people that are raised to never read the New Testament, do you think that it's possible that God, the Spirit of the living God, could be revealed to them in maybe their scriptures that they read? I believe that that's the case. I believe it's always been the case. I believe that God is constantly, it says in the scripture that he makes himself manifest because you can't see him. He's invisible. Can't see God at any time. So no one should boast. But in everything that's seen and known and made, that's how we know God. So I find it not strange at all that this is being put out there now. Like for the Christians, like, these are the end days. Look at the books of Revelation is opening up. Well, guess what? The Muslims are too. Guess what? The Jews are looking for the Mashiach. They're preparing they're getting that red heifer and they're preparing the temple. They already got the altar made. They're ready to go. Guess what? The Hindus are too. This is the end of the age. It's the end of it. This is the end of it. This is the Kali Yuga, as they say. It's also in the book of Revelation. We're going to read about that in a second. Some scholars, now this is where it gets a little stressful. The timing, though, I think is pretty important, because how many times have I said on the show, hang in there, after 2024 things should start to get better, right? I've been saying this. Do me a favor in the chat. Tell me if you remember me saying that I think things are going to be really hard, but we're going to hang in there. And, whatever we're going to face, we're going to face it. We're going to face it together, but we're going to face it with the Lord, and it's going to be okay. But then things are going to change for the better. It has to, because it's the dregs of it. This is it. It's being revealed. It can get worse, but it can't get much worse. It's going to get better. That's the hope that we hold. And it's getting better. The proof of that is within all of you. How many of your emails do I have now? I'm so encouraged by all of you. You have no idea. That's why I'm grateful for all of your emails. I'm grateful for your comments and for all you do, because it's so important. Many scholars think that it's literally ending and complete 2025. What are the odds? That's very strange. They believe things are going to get better in 2025. Odd timing after that second eclipse for that all to come together. Just odd timing. I'm encouraged by it, but I still do find it to be very strange. Catherine Willie, thank you so much for the super chat. And Mud Dog, God bless you as well. And listen, y'all, sometimes I don't see everybody. And so if I ever miss you, like Lola Cafe, I'm looking at you now. Thank you. If I miss you, please forgive me. Shoot me an email if I don't, shout you out, and I will be sure to say something to you. Wayne, thank you very much as well. And you're never late if you're clicking on my show. It doesn't matter what time you come. We almost got 1,000 likes. We almost got 2,000 people in here for the best part of the show because we're almost done, believe it or not. There's not that much for me to go into here. But I think that 2025, I think that that's a strange thing. I do find it to be very strange because I feel like it's legit. I feel like that's the thing. So let's take a look at the predictions, because there are predictions written in the sutras about what this day will look like. We're going to read this to you. By we, I mean the collective me and all of you in the spirit of the show. I'm going to read this to you, and this is going to hopefully open your eyes to the fact that maybe this whole thing that Jack put out, that everybody's now saying that he said during his speech, which I did not hear him say, will make it clear. It's for a reason. So here are the predictions, okay? In the last, there's a book called the Bhagavad Gita, which I have. It's a great book where Krishna talks to a lad named Arjuna in the midst of a great war. A lot of, just a wonderful story. This right here talks about the dark times of this present age called Kali Yuga. Now, there are these 15 predictions, okay? And this was written over 5,000 years ago. So let's just take a look at it, okay? Let's take a look at it. Men and women, here's prediction number 1. Religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will all diminish day by day. People are going to become more unhealthy. People are going to believe less, care less, be lazier. They probably won't even shower, probably just stay in their PJs all day, probably won't shave. How gross. Now, I know a lot of people do that. I have a bunch of children in college, so I'm saying that actually because I'm hoping they're listening so I can just kind of give them a hard time. But mercy, gone from the land. People are going to die sooner. People aren't going to be as strong as they used to be. That's one. In Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered the sign of a man's good birth. So, you're lucky if you got money. Those are good qualities. Law and justice only applied on the basis of one's power. So you're not going to get a fair this or a fair that unless you're a powerful person. Men and women will live together merely because they're attracted. They won't love each other. Success in business will depend on deceit. How crazy is that is so on the money for today. Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's expertise in sex. And a man will be known as a Brahma by wearing a single thread. In other words, you don't have to be a holy man to pretend that you're enlightened. You could be a pretty terrible person and just go on there and you'll have millions of followers telling people that you're God. Prediction 4, a person's spiritual position will be ascertained merely by external symbols. And on the basis, people will change from one spiritual order to the next. No one's going to really be rooted in truth. Everybody's just going to bounce around wherever the wind blows them. Their propriety will be seriously questioned. If he doesn't earn a good living, people will be put down for all of these things. And one who is very clever at juggling words will be called a scholar. So if you're a great talker, you're good to go. You're good to go. If you got a silver tongue. What do they get? Silver tongue? Is that what it is? Silver tongue fox. A person will be judged unholy if they don't have money. So really, holiness depends on power and money. Hypocrisy will be accepted as virtue. Marriage, just a verbal agreement, doesn't mean nothing. A sacred place will be taken to consist of no more than a reservoir of water. Beauty will be a thought to depend on one's hairstyle. Filling the belly will become the goal of life. What do you that's it. Just eat, drink, party, and you're dead. This is the day we're in. Can you say that we're not in this time? Well, we are. As the earth thus becomes crowded with corrupt population, whoever among any of their social classes shows himself to be the strongest will gain power, will be harassed by famine, excessive taxes. People will resort to eating leaves, roots, flesh, crickets. Doesn't say that. But look at the day we're in. Struck by drought. Wait till you see my next show that I'm working on. Completely ruined. Citizens will suffer greatly from the cold, wind, heat, rain. They'll be further tormented by quarrels, hunger, thirst, and severe anxiety. The maximum duration of life, this is a scary one, but it's becoming close to the norm lately, 50 years. Could you imagine a couple of years' time, things keep going the way they are? It's terrible. No one's going to care about the elderly anymore. We already see people saying, oh, euthanasia should be a thing. How terrible is this? What has happened? I put a tweet out about that. What has happened? In Kali Yuga, men will develop hatred for each other over a few coins. Giving up all friendly relations, they'll be ready to lose their own lives and even kill their own relatives. Uncultured men will accept charity on behalf of the Lord and will earn their livelihood by making a show of austerity and wearing the dress of such people. Those who know nothing about religion will mount a high seat and presume to speak on all of these principles. I mean, I talked about this on my last show, all the people we put our faith in. Servants will abandon their masters who lost their wealth. You know, like someone who takes care of you. The instant they can't take care of you, they run. They're like the people that Jesus fed. You fed your belly. That's the only reason you're here. Cities will be dominated by thieves. The Vedas will be contaminated by speculative interpretations. That's like another word saying the Bible will be contaminated by people saying this or that. Political leaders will virtually consume the citizens. So-called priests and intellectuals will be devotees to their bellies and their genitals. And despite all of these dark prophecies, by the way, there's one good thing. I want to point this out. Although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, listen to this, because this is for all of you. There is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the name Krishna, one can be free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. Now, before a couple of you say, oh, how dare you bring this up? I'm not telling you to go chant Krishna. I'm telling you to go to the Lord and ask for the truth. This is yet again for them. For Krishna is like their Christ, right? Now, you're going to say they're not the same. Okay, they're not the same. But we need to go to God. We need to go to God. And in Kali Yuga, that's the one good thing. Those that turn to the Lord, right? And I'm not saying Krishna is Lord, so settle down. Those who turn to God, the creator of all, to joy, to love, to peace, to compassion, to hope, to unity, to long-suffering, to patience, to meekness. Those who turn to that, they'll be as an oak planted by a well-watered stream, standing strong against the storms to come. That was pretty poetic. You should give me a little thumbs up for that one. You'll be an oak planted by a well-watered stream. Oh, look at this guy all of a sudden. All right, so now let's talk scripture, because here's the version that I talk about. This is in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3. These are the last days, perilous times. Men will be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unholy, unthankful, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, fierce, incontinent, despisers of those that are good. Despisers of those that are good. You ever wonder if you're a good-hearted person, why people treat you so poorly? It's because you have the life, that life of Christ within you, that Christ in you. It's a light, and it's shining. And we're not meant to keep it buried under a bushel. We're supposed to let it shine. So you encourage people and you lift people up and you show them the truth. And you may hurt when they tear you down, or when corrupt family members look at you and tear you down, or friends mock you behind your back and you find out on the back end and it hurts. Jesus said, they hated me, they're going to hate you. Despisers of people that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. They have the form of godliness, but they deny the power from such. Just like I was talking about the red-haired brand yesterday. He looks like it, looks like the guru, right? But he's saying all the wrong things. The Pope looks like the guru. He smacks your hand away. He'll bow to the world rulers. See that video? Where he'll bow down and he'll reverence all of these world leaders. But then when someone tries to just kiss his hand or won't let go because they need a word from the Lord and they think this is the guy. Look at him, he's wearing Dagon's head. Dagon was a fake god. It's the fish mouth. It's a fish. Jesus said, I'll make you fishers of men. Symbolic of being trapped in the sea, the god of the sea. Dagon. Smacks him away. How terrible. You know what he says? Because he's, of course, playing the same game as everybody else. He says everybody's ready for this. It's going on right now. He says we're already in the throes of it. Already in the throes of it. Sounds so depressing, all of this, except for I have great hope. Why? Because I know it's all working together for the good. Why? Because I knew the day was coming. I didn't know. I knew. I said it. I didn't know. I was hoping I was wrong. I'm still hoping I'm wrong. I want people to change in a good way. For this sort, for they that creep into houses, how do they do that? Through YouTube, through TikTok, social media. This is how they creep in. Giving you ideas, all sorts of ideas. Maybe right now, you and your marriage, maybe you're having a hard time, right? Wicked people around you, jealous of what you have, going to whisper in your ear, oh, you shouldn't put up with that. Get out of there, right? Oh, you have a curfew? You have a curfew? How old are you? You're going to go home at what hour? Pfft. Disobeying parents, breaking truces, contracts, disputing contracts, corruption. Everywhere you look. Can't get away from it. The world is flooded with it today. And it's sad. And it bums me out. And this is Kali Yuga. This is the end days. This is happening now, people. But I'm encouraged because I think we're getting to the end. And I think that there's something good going to come of it. What are you going to do in a year's time when you can't get food, right? What if you go to the store, there's no food there? What are you going to do? If you're trusting in the Lord, you're going to have food. You'll have more than you need. You won't even know where it came from. Just like manna when they were in the wilderness. They didn't know they followed Moses. These whiners and complainers. He delivers them from Egypt. We're being delivered from Egypt. The system, right? That's why the two eclipses. That's why they cross-sect in Cairo, right? Carbondale, Little Egypt. We're in Egypt. We are. I got Babylon down the street from me in Long Island, right? We got Canaan over there near Greenwich, Connecticut. I have a show coming out very shortly about what Veritas just did with the school over there, Cascab. Interesting stuff. How all of this is coming out now. If they be corrupt was my hashtag, and it's happening. The world is about to have some great upheaval. You know what that trishula is used for? That trident? Separation. Separating. It's a judgment, and that's what's coming. That's what's coming to us all. Separation. But at the same time, we have solar flare coming in from a giant hole in the sun's atmosphere. It's coming straight for Earth. Whatever that means. I take it as there's a new light coming in. I don't want to look at it like get everybody worried that something bad's coming, but I don't know. Man, this is a weird time to be alive, but an exciting one. An exciting one indeed. We've entered the temple of doom. And what happens at the end? We're okay. It works out in the end. It really does. I got over 1,100 likes. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, look at this super chat from Grand Bargains. Oh, GP, what's up, dude? He's got an interesting thing that I'm talking to him about. It's I also got to talk about Lauren Sawyer sent me something pretty cool. Let me show you this. I don't know much about it right now, but I have Crohn's disease, and I don't even know what it is yet. I don't know. So I can't recommend anything yet because I haven't taken it or anything else. But I think that it's really great. They spent a lot of money to send this to me, and I kept saying no because I don't like taking things from people. You know, that's why I pulled my PO box down. I've never been good with asking for stuff, and I've never been good at receiving stuff. But I'll tell you one thing: once I get enough information on this, a lot of people seem to swear by it. For months, Lauren's been trying to get me to take this stuff. So I'm if it can help out, because I'll tell you, I'm not feeling that great. That's for sure. You know, and maybe it's because this is going on right now. Maybe it's because of that. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe there's a little bit of stress going on within me because I'm not just trusting and I'm not just leaning on my faith enough. Because guess what? I know it seems like I'm all enlightened, I guess. I don't know. Some people say that, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've been saying this for a long time, so I call myself a meatball. I don't know what I'm doing. I do have faith. I really do, and I really do love people, and I really do love the Lord, and I really want to see the world get better. And I really do feel like I have a purpose here, and I really do feel like my purpose is this. I just don't know exactly how and what to do, but I just kind of trust that God will work it out. Just like I wasn't going to talk about this today. I wasn't going to talk about it. I was looking at all of, the posts and how stressed out and angry people are. Some would say rightfully so. I say no. You have no right to be hateful towards other people. You can be upset with how things are, but you got to do is, I forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. We're in the darkest age. People don't know anything. Sickly, right? Untrustworthy, hypocrites, liars, thieves, famine, drought, suffering, war. This is the day we're in. Why aren't more people on their knees? I don't know. But I'm hoping that they'll get there before it's, that last hour. We're already in that last second. How about that? I don't even want to say the last minute because we're already here. We're here. And there's not much that's going to stop what's coming, The end of everything? Well, not really the end of everything, but the end of this terrible age. The end of this darkness. The end of all of this that has hurt us so much. The end of it is coming, people. And you want to know when it ends? It ends when you ask for the truth, no matter what the cost. And you understand the story of Jesus Christ, who died for you. And now we must die for Christ. We've got to give up our life in this world. If you seek to save your life, you're going to lose it. We're all going to lose our life eventually. You got to really humble yourself, people. You really do. All right, well, listen, I love you all. I'm grateful. If I missed you in the super chat, please do email me and let me know. Get yourself a copy of The Calling. It's available. You know what? If I have one, I like to sometimes just flip through just for the heck of it, just to see. Maybe I can read something. I don't know. Oh, look at this. This is a nice little poem. Every chapter starts with a new poem. Okay? If I have hope, I have no reason to fear. If I have love, many will draw near. If I forgive, I'll never again hate. If I accept people as they are, there's no need to debate. If I'm kind, it helps others to smile. If I'm positive, I can always go the extra mile. If I'm patient, I never again have to wait. If I'm giving, all that I have I appreciate. If I'm open to new ideas, there's no end to what I can know. If I have faith, there's no telling where I can go. If I am content, I have everything I ever wanted in life. If I take the if out of all these things, I've finally seen the light. Get it? I have hope. I have no reason to fear. I have love. Many draw near. I forgive. I never again hate. Take the if out. Just do it already. Just do it already. I love each and every one of you. Please do subscribe, share, tell your friends, do it. All the links are in the description below for anything that you want to do. And if you want to email me, all of my info is there too. I love you all. Thanks for taking the time with me. This is just weird how all this stuff comes together, right? And I promise you, nobody's going to do a show like this. I don't think this is the only show that's going to be. And I think that people need to know what this is. I really do. So let people know before they're all, retweeting something that they don't understand and saying, oh, this is it. This is the end. This is the end. Kali Yuga, like 1,000 years of this reign of the devil, 1,000 years of the reign of the devil. But I know the end story. There's that old passage that says, when the devil tells you about your past, remind the devil of its future. Get it? It doesn't matter what you've done. What you've done, it's past. That's why the devil spelled backwards is lived. Get it? Lived. Don't beat yourself up. We've all made mistakes, but where we are right now, it's a new day. We have a new life in Christ. All you got to do is ask for the Lord. Just ask. Help me. You don't need to go anywhere. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.